And with me, as always, I have my co-host, Mr. Joel Hallbaker. What's going on, Joel?
What's happening, Ron? Great day to be
Man,
here.
I
How
am,
are you?
man. I'm feeling good, man. I got a good topic. I got a good topic today for us. We're
Awesome.
going to be talking about AI and specifically where it fits into cybersecurity. Last week we talked a little bit about Palantir. We talked about the power that they put from putting everything in one big data lake, right, and really turning AI on that. We're going to be talking about that exact same thing today with a specific product that does exactly that. Some of the
Nice.
details.
Cool,
Let's
man.
jump right in it. Sorry, Joel, what were you going to say?
No, I was saying cool. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let me get my share going. All right. What we're going to be talking about is a product called Vigil Agent. And I'm going to go right to their website. As I mentioned last week, we had talked about Palantir. I want to bring the two together because really, not that they really have anything to do with each other from a business standpoint, except the methodology and the thinking is what we've been talking about for quite a few episodes now, for those of you who've been watching. So when you look at what Vigil Agent does, the idea is that it's built to watch, trained to respond. So the idea is Vigil Agent is where human vigilance meets AI-driven precision, fusing real-world security data, agentic agents, virtual agents, and expert security analysts or special agents to hunt, verify, and neutralize threats before they become incidents. So this is the application in the real world here of the kind of things that we've been talking about in a specific product. What's your thoughts, Joel?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. So, I mean, man, it's exactly what we need right now, and it's funny because it comes right off the news that I'm sure you saw Anthropic put out recently about discovering an AI agent hacking or espionage attempt by China. Right? So using Anthropic's platform is my understanding of what they discovered. They shut it down, but it was completely autonomous or almost completely autonomous, and was adjusting itself. You know, looking for targets, adjusting code to see what would work, and moving laterally as it could. So AI is being used by the other side. We need to be using it on our side to defend against.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you need something that's integrated, right? So that AI has access to the data
Right.
rather than just an isolated little this and that and the other. You need something that's expansive that can see how things relate and how they integrate, right? Classic XDR type thinking, but in application of really having the AI piece have that direct access so that it's more of a thought partner as we talk about, right? I'm looking for
Right.
something, obviously, but having it there as a thought partner with us, seeing what it sees and recommending things and following up based on what we lead, that's a super powerful combination. And
I
the
mean,
speed that comes along with it is just required nowadays.
yeah, and it's what AI is great at. Like you said, the speed that comes with it, right? It's the old idea of indexing that made searches and queries faster, and now it's AI that can take. We know already with AI chat that we can dump something into it, a book, an article, a PDF, and say, "Give me what I need to know out of this." And so, if you can do that with security metrics, security data, I mean, the more the better, right? There's no way that humans can go through line by line and in a fashion that's going to be effective, actually analyze all that.
I got good news for you. Not only can we, but this is exactly what this thing does right here. Let me
Yep.
share a little bit more. Um, So, what's the basis? Why is this? What's going on here? Why Vigil Agent? Like it says here, traditional socks drown in noise, and that is so true. Even though for years we've been saying it, and it's absolutely true that if you're a business and you're trying to do everything internal, and you have all these vendors, you have CrowdStrike here, you got Darktrace there, or maybe you have various Microsoft Defenders here, and you have some SaaS alerts going on from here, and you've got different things coming. I mean, if you're the hub of that operation, you're carrying literally all of the weight from all of those spokes, right? So an MDR service, a managed EDR or managed XDR, something that ties all these things together, is really what's needed to help with that noise. But for the XDR themselves, the SOC themselves, man, it's still challenging for them to really deal with it. So the systems of old are really starting to evolve, and this
Right.
product is based on some of those systems, some of the systems that are behind a lot of the products that are coming out now. To be completely honest with you, it's got AI built in it, it's got advanced search features, so it's really able to help the people, the SOC engineers that are frontline doing the job, get more done with better quality, and just do more. So that's really the genesis and the power behind this.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have to evolve, right? We have to evolve with the technology that's out there because, like I said, the other side's using it. We got to use it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go over these three real quick here. Agentic AI automation platform. Our AI engine is mission control, executing playbooks on demand to neutralize threats as adversaries shift. As adversaries shift, rather, the platform adapts instantly, rewriting playbooks in real time. That's powerful. That's powerful. So you have an AI agent here that's part of the automation platform that's able to dynamically deal with things as needed rather than having
Yeah.
a static playbook that has to be built ahead of time for every possible thing, and then a person basically choosing one of those playbooks, right? So in the virtual AI agents here, second piece here, autonomous digital operatives. So, undercover operatives in cyberspace, these autonomous virtual agents dive into raw logs at machine speed, again, dealing directly with the data in the data lake. And connects the dots others miss and launch countermeasures before attackers can advance. Again, that's putting AI right there at the front line uh, with the with the power of a solid prompt, right, and a goal given to this AI that here's the data, here's the function, watch this, and it's built into. We've done some demos on the product. It's built into all of the screens, so it's not like a chat over here on the side. It's like AI is built
Right.
into the platform itself. So when you want to see something, there's graphics, very graphical as you would expect, but the AI is there within it, pointing out things, and on the side giving you so a very built-in experience. And the last one, special AI agents, 24/7, 365, human operatives. So again, like we've talked about many times, AI is great, it's to be leveraged, but you must control it on the front end and the back end, and that's kind of what the special agents are about. So behind the automation, cyber senior analysts, your embedded special agents validate, escalate, and resolve what matters most. Human expertise fused with AI precision delivers confidence and closure. And that's, to be honest with you, that's why this is on the screen right now. If this
Yep.
was just another AI powered tool and wahoo, who, whatever, this isn't. It's a solid solution. It's a tool, like we say around here, as part of our co-managed partnership approach. We share tools. So this is a tool that your team would see, our team would see, the SOC team sees, and everyone uses. So it's a managed solution and not just a product to buy, if you would. So that's the power in it. It's not just a quarter-inch drill bit, right, Joel? It's a quarter-inch hole. It gives you what you need, and you can be as involved as little or as much as you'd like.
Yeah, and a key here too is not just that, like you said, the humans got to be there because we don't want to just turn AI 100% loose and say, "See ya, that's all you need," right? Like, it's not just an AI based tool. But what's even better about that is that now the humans that are involved, have more bandwidth. So when they need to dive into something, they can dive into something. They're not the ones doing the menial, let me review this alert, review this alert, review this alert, run this playbook. Instead, they're able to take what the AI is saying, this is something different. We need to look at this, a little more concerning, right? And have more bandwidth to address that while AI is handling the vast majority of the alert cannon, as we say.
Bingo, bingo. I got a practical application here for exactly what you're describing, and it really lays out the thinking ahead of time to be able to knock it out of the park when you need to. A tool in a team like this is exactly that. It's a proactive step to make sure that you're where you need to be, so your business is taken care of and what matters is there, right? That's the thinking behind this. Now, back, Joel, I'm gonna be telling my age a little bit here, but back when I was going for a pretty high level certification, it was really difficult, and part of it was a networking thing, right? So you had to draw out the routers and all the OSPF adjacencies and EIGRP over here and BGP over there and all these different things. And I mean, it was one of those challenging, things you had to build quickly and then troubleshoot type things. And one of the strategies that I would have never thought of, but I got together with some very smart people who helped me, is to bring a legal sheet of paper, right? One of the big ones that's bigger than just a normal 8.5 by 11, and these little round jar tops and colored pencils, and basically be able to immediately look at the descriptions and to draw things out quickly and all that type of thinking ahead of time, having the right tools, knowing what you're trying to come in prepared, is going to help with the synaptic deprivation, is the way they described it to us.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
where brain just gets burned out, at the end of a day when you've been working hard and you're beat down and now you need to really get that deep work done. You're sitting there trying to think, okay, what was I going to do again? You're burned out, right? Having stuff like this is what keeps those frontline SOC engineers from getting burned out. It's having the tool there that empowers them so that they can just come, they're there full time anyway, right? Let's be real. They're working their shift, but a tool like this allows them to do the fun part of the job, not be beat down by just chasing all this stuff that's probably nothing. This type tool really empowers them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because I mean, we're human. People are going to get worn out. They're going to get they get desensitized to the noise.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you're doing that for a full shift, I mean, come on.
It's a
So
tough job.
all around, this is the promise of AI, and this is, we've always been cautious with what it can do and can't do, but this is the kind of thing that the promise of AI is actually fulfilling, right? That it is taking the load off where appropriate. It's taking those menial things that wear out our brains, our human minds, just the same way that we're not out there, I mean, manually, searching databases. We query it, right? And the computer's doing that for us. So,
Exactly.
we're not going through each record in a database to find what we're looking for, right? So we want to do that here either.
Absolutely.
That's what makes sense.
And the interface, I know. So a little bit of a tip here. The reason I'm talking about Vigil Agent this week is next week we're going to have Mark Porter, the CEO from Vigil Agent, on the show here, and I'll talk a little bit about the relationship that Valenture has with Vigil Agent and where that comes from in a little bit. But I wanted to mention it because a lot of the things that we're talking about, he's going to be talking about, but with more of a demo. We're not really a full demo, probably more like just the idea behind it and showing you a couple of things like that. But I'm not really doing a demo. I'm just kind of highlighting what it is and why it matters. So if you're looking for a product like this or a solution like this, I think this is a good one. And we're trying to highlight the things about this one that makes it a good one in case you want to buy something similar, right? These are the core concepts and the reason that it's good. So moving to the next one here, going a little bit deeper here, unblinking vigilance scaled by AI as a channel first force multiplier. Vigil Agent equips our partners, that's us here at Valenture, with capabilities far beyond the reach of traditional SOC models. And that's really the idea here, is not only is this a really, really good tool, but it's also a partnership with the people running the tool and helping. So it's more of a solution, not just a tool, but it's every bit of a tool that your team can have, and you can see the dashboards. It's very much open. You get everything, we get everything. It's real help and a real tool. AI is cybersecurity here at the bottom. AI, today's threat theater demands automation or automated detection, instant correlation, and adaptive response. I completely agree. Vigil Agent is built for that reality, delivering always on protection that scales across the channel. So what does it do? Why? I mean, why should you really, what benefits are you going to get out of this? Here's a couple. Armed with proprietary threat intelligence platform powered by 70 plus feeds and sharpened by AI and machine learning. That's the catch here. There's some real power behind this tool that's not just the tool itself. It's all the threat intelligence feeds coming in from all the different platforms, as well as the built-in stuff that's already there in the tools. It's built by the people that run it here at Vigil Agent. We neutralize false positives and cut through the noise. All intelligence is funneled through a single API stream, fueling every tool and model with mission-grade, high-fidelity threat data. So there's a central data lake, as it describes here. So automates 99% of triage, which is a big deal, handling 74,826 out of 75,000 alerts, ensuring 100% coverage without adding staff. Again, better and probably a better price. I would say if you have a contract right now that you're under that's providing similar functionality, I think the industry is maturing and prices are getting better. It may be time to look at to look and see what the pricing is right now. We've been pleasantly surprised as we've looked at the pricing.
I would say consider also if you're doing it in house, consider the cost.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, it's if any of this is ringing true about the amount of human involvement in the alert cannon and all that it takes to really stay on top of all that, and you need to evolve, you need to grow with the technology of today, then this would be something to consider, because I have yet to see where it makes sense to build it out 100% in house. Financially, I've yet to see that. The economies of scale work against you in that case.
They do, and the small folks can't, right? And the ones that maybe can hire a couple people, it's like, my goodness, how are you going to cover it 24/7? Now you got at least 3, and then you're really having to really roll the dice on the risk. So for a business, it just makes more sense to buy a known good, and to buy all the expertise behind it, to outsource this. And that's exactly what this is a fully outsourced solution for this type of thing. Vigil Agent cuts mean time to conclusion by an average of 75%, from 20 to 40 minutes to just 3 to 10 minutes, even at scale. Again, it's in the infrastructure and how the data is in a single data lake with the AI agents up against it, empowering the tool, the platform itself. That's how that happens. So much of the work that was done in the past by SOC engineers is actually simplified and eased because of the way the AI is built in at all the different steps of the tool and how it works. In the last one here, Vigil Agent reduces breach costs by 50%, saving over $2.2 million per incident, while lowering operational spend by 30%. So they even mention here lowering operational spend. So the commitment that they made to me was, we don't want to be beat on price. So, I think now is a good time to be pricing some things like this out. Joel, any comments on the last one? Sorry, I didn't give you a chance to comment on anything there.
No, I'll just say that we know these guys, and one thing I know is that they've through this platform they were able to discover a massive security breach or security issue at a very large environment that went undetected by a lot of the major vendors out there right now. A lot of the major vendors, EDRs and things like that, that we all know the names of. So this is absolutely true. I mean, if you can detect these things before they have a dwell time of 3 weeks, 3 months, a year, right? You can really reduce the damage that's done, and you will reduce the costs to recover, because that's such a big part of it that's often not thought about, because we all as humans have this idea that, well, it's not going to happen to me. It's just not going to happen to me, right? And you think, well, if it does happen, well, we'll do this, we'll do that. But the breach is the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more as far as cost that comes after that, and it's the reason why a lot of companies don't survive. So this is absolutely true. If you can use tools like this to pick up compromises quicker and reduce the spread and limit the damage, you will save a lot of money and have a much better chance of recovering without major damage to the company.
Agreed. And let me finish with that thought, Joel. Speaking of major damage for the company, past the breach, past the loss of customer trust, past the legacy going at risk, all of those things, which are absolutely true, and we see, is that possibility that you wind up in front of a judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And man, judges are powerful. I'm going to tell you, if you don't know, you need to know. Because if you ever wind up in front of a judge for any particular reasons, what they say pretty much goes. And that judge is going to look at you like a normal person, like I would look at another company, or you would look at someone and say, did this person do, is this reasonable? And when you as a company say, you know, we cared enough to outsource it to experts, we did our homework, we did our due diligence. That's what's required. That's what from a judge,
Right.
just because it's a person. And not only that, but let's be real, it's the right thing to do. The business needs protecting. And when you look at spending good money on yesterday's technology, that we're telling you right now, we know these people and we know the history here, and we're recommending it not based on a whim, but we're recommending it, we're putting it in front of you for a reason. So yeah, doing the right thing and acting on that, and possibly saving a little bit in the process and elevating your security to today's technology, wrapping AI around your cyber, I think is a very solid position all the way around. It's a win-win on every front from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Why not? Saves money and does the job better.
Yeah, it empowers your internal people, empowers the SOC, it empowers everyone. It's just a better tool because of the empowerment of it. So going a little bit deeper here on Vigil Agents Tradecraft here, real-time intelligence, continuous ingestion from our client stacks, plus our broader signals enriched with threat intel to surface what matters most. So what we're talking about here is so let's say you've got an EDR, as I mentioned earlier, and maybe you've got an NDR like Darktrace or something like that, or maybe you got some IPS firewalls that are next generation like a Palo, Cisco, Fortinet, whatever. Say you've got SaaS alerts and you got say you got different feeds, which you probably do. Maybe you went in a little bit deeper with Wiz and some other things, and you want to bring all that stuff into one place. That's the strength here, is those integrations. So the underlying platform here that this is built on, the strength of that platform is the ability to create a data lake with all those integrations. And that's the power of it, to normalize that data so that the AI agents can work against that data. So it's this continuous ingestion and this continuous look with the AI agents. That's the real-time intelligence it's talking about here.
Yeah, and I'll say
Any
that,
comment on
we've
that,
heard the
Joel?
term XDR for a long time now, and
Yeah.
just about every major vendor will say they have XDR and XDR solution. What we found though, and I'm sure a lot of you have found, is that they may be able to technically ingest data from other sources, maybe send it to us in a syslog or send JSON or whatever, but they really favor their own platform, and that's it. And so, yeah, we can take in that data, but we don't get a lot out of it, right? Versus this, what we've seen, again, because we do carefully recommend these things when we bring them up here. What we've seen
Yes.
here is that they have real integrations with these other platforms, like you mentioned, Wiz and things like that, that bring useful information into the platform, into the data lake that the AI and the SOC can use, versus sort of in name only, where it comes across, to be honest, with a lot of the other platforms, comes across a lot of, like a marketing technique. Just say, yeah, we do XDR too. But, if you really want to get the most power out of it, make sure you buy our brand of this and that and that and that.
Right, right.
So,
Joel, I want to amplify what you said there, because I'll tell you, it's that reason that when this was presented to a recent client recently, their response was, well, if this is what you say it is, I don't see any reason not to do it. The thing is, for people that have bought managed XDR services, they know what that looks like in practice. And a lot of times it's just not as integrated as we would like, because the vendors won't let it be. I don't want to call out any names, but say you're with a popular EDR brand, and you're trying to provide SOC services and trying to receive in maybe, a popular firewall brand that are different. As a SOC, that maybe that EDR vendor won't give you what you need. All they give you is an email alert that says, "Hey, something happened. Click on this link to go to the portal," and then you can figure. That's not very helpful.
Yep.
And that type of friction in the operations is what this is designed to overcome. Because not only is it doing all of the stuff on the front end, but it's a full platform. We'll probably talk about the cases that when there's something that is flagged, it becomes a case. And you can see the case, we can see the case, they can see the case. If we need to become an incident response on something, we can do it right off of that case, pulls all the information together right there. That kind of frictionless operations is so valuable, because otherwise you get this, yeah, it's all the feeds coming in once, but what's the feed? It's not the real information. It's an alert about an alert that now I got to do this recursive thing, and all the juice goes out and all the magic kind of leaves the room, right? This really solves a lot of those problems.
Right. 100%. It's the
Yeah,
promise of
looking
XDR finally coming to fruition instead of
the
just,
technology's catching
yeah.
up. It really is. I think that's exactly what's going on. A mention here of agentic AI virtual agents working autonomously. Our special agents prompts trigger on-demand playbooks, containment, isolation, ticketing, comms, and adapt as evidence evolves. So basically, people running AI agents in the platform. SNL powered understanding models fine-tuned on live cyber context to interpret logs, spot anomalies, and recommend actions. Trained virtual agents in real time here running. Human precision, special agents provide mission command, handling complex investigations, adversary emulation, and executive level reporting. Industry leading partners, top technology providers integrating their expertise to deliver stronger outcomes, greater scale, and lasting customer value. Now, I'm sure Mark next week is going to go over what's under the hood, so I don't want to give that away too much. But I do want to say that the team here at Vigil Agent has been working behind the scenes for a significant amount of time to really build something from the ground up on rock solid technology underneath. And so a lot of the promises here isn't like, well, who are these Vigil Agent people building something? They're just, it isn't that. It's the technology underneath that everything is built onto. Vigil Agent is the team of people that's bringing in the engineers and the security architects and the folks that know how to use these underlying tools and to integrate this stuff together for business outcomes, right? So that's kind of how some of this stuff is fitting together. One more, is that it? Yeah, I think, Joel, that's pretty much what I got. I wanted to just give a kind of a preview, a little bit of this in preparation for next week. I thought it was very well positioned in regards to what we were talking about specifically last week, with the magic of a flat database, a data lake, if you will, and AI looking at that, and the work that goes into standardizing and normalizing that data. You can imagine all the, when I say standardizing and normalizing, let me pull the hood back a little bit, and for the techs in the room, mention what I'm talking about there. IP address. Well, that's a field in a database, right? Well, maybe what's that header on that field? Maybe it's IP ADDR. Maybe it's IP underscore ADDR. Maybe it's IP dash address. Maybe it's IPA. Maybe, and on for every field. So it is a significant amount of work and effort to get this data into a data lake that can be normalized from a lot of different feeds, from a lot of different products and vendors out there that are providing services, security products. So these folks taking XDR to the next level and
Yep.
providing this and what they're doing doesn't come without a lot of work on the back end and effort. So we're proud to support them. This thing is just rolling out here in September. So good stuff. More and more is going to come. We invited Mark as I mentioned on the show next Friday. So you'll hear from him directly. And I invite you, throw some questions in. It's a live event. We'll be glad to answer your questions and respond to anything that you've got that comes up. If you're watching this after the fact, please uh, put your question in there and we'll respond to it. Let us know. If nothing else, say hi, say thank you, say I disagree. Well, what about this? We love all the comments and we love responding to them. So please do that. Any closing words here, Joel?
Yeah, I think about as we go back to thinking about the human involvement right now, the way it is, the old school way of doing SOC operations, right, security operations, and how they've been people involved have been fatigued for a long time. It just is what it is. The noise has got noisier and noisier and noisier. And now think about this. Now with AI, everybody is scrambling, and the big companies are finding ways to really make use of AI agents within their companies. You may say right now that, okay, we have rules that can detect in our SOC abnormal behavior. Okay. Well, what about this next generation of technology? This where AI is involved. And I think I saw a stat where some of these big companies, they have 144 agents per employee in the company actively working AI agents, right? How are your SOC analysts, if they're just people, determining what abnormal behavior looks like for an AI agent? We know when John Smith logs in at 3 a.m. and is making a whole bunch of API calls, that looks wrong. But what about your AI agents? And so you need something that works at that speed and something that can pick up on stuff like that. You need AI working on your side in the SOC as well to be able to determine this is actually different or it's not. Or even like you said, looking at different formats of data that, yeah, they'll be normalized, but what if they're not? What if they are a little different? The AI is great at things like that. Saying, this looks a little different, and in the past, you know, just a regular computer, would have not known how to correlate the two things because they're formatted differently. But AI is great at that. So how are you going to approach that? Maybe your company doesn't have 144 AI agents per employee right now, but maybe you got some and you're working towards having more because that's just the way you got to do it if you want to be competitive going forward. So you do need something different. So that's a question I would ask you to ponder. What are you going to do about that when all of that activity is hitting the SOC? And bring those thoughts to next week and listen to what Mark says about it.
Agreed. That's very good. Very good point, Joel. I'd follow up with a conversation that I had with some of the SOC engineers at Vigil Agent, and what they said to me was, we had to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It got to a point that, it was just too much. I mean, it just wasn't possible for a human to keep up, and the technologies of old, the old style databases that you suck all the information in and then you do a query on it and it churns and get just the unwieldiness of the tools, and it just became a point where it wasn't like a it wasn't like a, hey, let's be visionaries and jump out here and build something that's never been. It was more like being driven, like a herd of being driven by the need to, in order to do this, we got to do it this way to keep up with the scale and the requirements. So yeah, you're right, Joel. This technology is driving this technology literally. And so what's the difference? What's the difference between this tool and some other tools? I would say, like any other thing, it's the people. All the pre-built rules that we talk about, those things are imported into this tool. All the pre-built knowledge from the past that comes from all the Intel feeds, all the ability to ask the right questions and look at the right graphs in the right way to understand the tactics, techniques, and procedures, to all of that type stuff can't be replicated in a tool. Right? It
Right.
needs a person using the tool, just like any adventure where you're building a back deck as a carpenter or doing whatever. You got to have the right tools to get the job done, but you got to know how to use them.
Yep.
So I'm encouraged to see this tool. I'm encouraged by the things that's coming online here. And I'm looking forward to that conversation with Mark next
Same.
week. If you want to know more in the meantime, head out to our website, valentia.com. We're always available for a meeting, talking about specifically what's involved in your business and how this can fit in, or what does it look like to roll it out, and can we try it, and all those type things, costs. We would love to have that conversation with you. And with that, I'm about ready to get the Friday vibes going for the weekend.
100%.
Oh, glad it's Friday afternoon around here. Any last things, Joel?
No, that's it. Ron, I appreciate you bringing light on this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you to everyone who's been watching. To those of you who it's the first time, welcome. To those of you who have been watching, please tickle that algorithm. It helps us. And with that,
Yes.
we're out. Thank you.
Thank you.